Yo guys, what is going on? It is Mr. DGM here. Welcome to another top 10 video. So today I'm going to be ranking the top 10 best defenders on FIFA 19 Ultimate Team. Now I'm actually only including central defenders on this list, and it is gold cards only, so no informs or no icons. So as always, if you guys do enjoy the video, if you could show some support by dropping a like on it, I would really appreciate that. If you are new to the channel and you like FIFA 19 content, why not subscribe to the channel? So we are going to jump straight into this top 10. So coming in the number 10 spot, I've gone with the 83 rated Kimpembe. Now, if you've seen a few of my squad builders, you probably would have seen this guy in at least one of my squads because he's probably been the most popular central defender that I've used on FIFA 19 so far. He's got all the right attributes to be one of the most overpowered centre-backs on this game. He's got great pace, very good defending, pretty good physicality. He really is a complete central defender. And in terms of value for money, I think you could definitely argue a very good case for this guy being one of the best centre-backs on the game. He's got very good linkability, so easy to get into good hybrids and good squad builders. So yeah, I am a huge fan of his. Now the reason he doesn't get any higher up is purely down to the fact that there's just better central defenders out there. It's nothing really against Kimpembe. I think he's a very overpowered centre-back, but there's definitely better central defenders in all departments really. So that's why he comes in the number 10 spot. So guys, coming in the number 9 spot, I've gone with the 84 rated Davinson Sanchez. Now this guy is a very overpowered central defender on this game. He's got very good pace, very good defending, physicality is pretty decent as well, and I think this guy is a very athletic central defender. In my opinion, I would say he's probably the second best centre-back in the BPL, and he's pretty easy to get into good squad builds. Of course, can easily slot into a BPL team, and there's a few good Tottenham players that you can link to get him into good hybrids. Now, the reason he doesn't get any higher up on this list is down to a few factors. I don't think this guy is great in the air. He hasn't particularly got very good jumping, and I would say he is not the greatest on the ball. Technically, he can be pretty vulnerable in my opinion. So that is why he doesn't get any higher up than the number 9 spot. So guys, coming in the number 8 spot, I've got with the 85 rated Kostas Manolas. Now, I don't really need to tell you why this guy's a great centre back. All you've got to do is look at his stats. 83 pace, 86 defending with 82 physicality. This guy is an unbelievably overpowered central defender on this game. His biggest asset compared to most of the defenders that are featuring on this list is his pace. But it's one thing to have good pace as a central defender, but it's another thing to be good defensively as well. And this guy definitely is that. A very solid, no-nonsense centre-back on this game. Now, the reason he doesn't get any higher up on this list is down to two reasons, really. I'd say his linkability is not great. It's okay, but it's pretty difficult to get him into some of the best squad builders on this game. And I would say this guy is not a very good ball-playing centre-back, if you like. If you press this guy high up the pitch, he can be very vulnerable and can lose possession for you at times. So yeah, that's why he comes in the number 8 spot. So guys, coming in the number 7 spot, I've got with an 89 rated Giorgio Chiellini. Now, if you type in on Google definition of a no-nonsense central defender, I'm pretty sure this guy will come up straight away because he is so solid defensively. Of course, having 91 defending is an incredibly impressive stat. I would say his pace is good enough, having 69 pace, and his physicality is pretty decent. Now, I would say in the first half of matches, this guy is probably one of the best centre-backs on this game. He has most players in his back pocket. Now, the reason that this guy doesn't come up any higher on this list is purely down to the fact he's not got great stamina on this game. He does tend to tire as the matches go on. And of course, most people do bring on pacey forwards towards the end of the matches. And this is where this guy can be pretty vulnerable. So yeah, his stamina is a huge issue in my opinion. And his pace isn't that great compared to a lot of centre-backs that will feature on this list. So that's why I could only put him in the number 7 spot. So guys, coming in the number 6 spot, I've gone with an 86 rated Jerome Boateng. Now, if you would have asked me who was the best gold centre-back on FIFA 18, I would have actually said this man. But he's had quite a big downgrade from FIFA 18 and he has dropped all the way down to the number 6 spot in my opinion. Now, I do think this guy is still a very good central defender on this game. He's still got all the right attributes. He's got pretty good pace, very good defending, very good physicality. Being 6'4" is very good, and technically on the ball, I would say this guy is pretty decent as well. So this guy is still a great central defender to go with, in my opinion. But the reason I can't put this guy any higher up is he's just lost a yard of pace, in my opinion. And I just think there's better centre-backs out there in every department, really. But I do think Jerome Boateng is still a great centre-back to go with, to put into your ultimate team. So guys, coming in the number 5 spot, I've got with the 87 rated Kalidou Koulibaly. Now, in my opinion, this guy is the best Serie A centre-back on this game. He's got pretty good pace. Defensively, this guy is very solid, and physicality is this man's middle name. He is so strong and powerful on this game, and I think nobody wants to come up against Kalidou Koulibaly in game because he's such a complete central defender, really. He's got the pace to catch up with the forwards, and he's definitely got the physicality to push them off the ball, and defensively his positional play is very solid. Now, the reason this guy doesn't come any higher up than the number 5 spot is down to a few factors, really. His linkability is not great, if I'm being honest. I don't think he's particularly amazing on the ball technically, and I would say his pace isn't that great compared to some other defenders that you are going to see in just a moment. So that's why he doesn't come any higher up than the number 5 spot. But don't get me wrong, this guy is an absolute monster on this game. So coming in the number 4 spot, I've got the 87 rated Samuel Umtiti. Now, I'll be honest, this guy got nowhere near the top 10 list on FIFA 18, but of course has had a huge upgrade for FIFA 19, and I think he definitely deserves his number 4 spot. He's one of the most complete central defenders on the game, in my opinion, because he really does have no major weakness. He's got very good pace, very good defensively, pretty good physicality, and in my opinion, this guy is one of the best ball-playing centre-backs on this game. Now, some of you guys probably aren't that bothered about having a ball-playing centre-back, but in my opinion, it is actually quite important. A lot of people do press high up the pitch, and if your defenders can't handle the pressure of being pressed high up in tight spaces, then it can create a lot of issues for you. But I think this guy can definitely handle the press. But I would say the only reason this guy is not any higher up is down to the fact he's only 6 foot, so he's not the tallest, and he's not necessarily the most strong and powerful defender on the game. So that's why you can only get the number 4 spot. In the number 3 spot now, I've gone with an 85 rated Virgil van Dijk. Now, this guy is an absolute monster on this game. 6'4", he's got pretty good pace. Defensively and physicality wise, this guy is one of the best central defenders on the game, in my opinion. There's no way you can bully this guy. He's extremely strong and powerful. Technically on the ball as well, I would say this guy is good enough. He can definitely play out from the back and handle being pressed. And I'm a huge fan of Van Dijk. I really do think he brings a certain personality and presence to the game. Now, the reason that this guy doesn't get any higher up than the number 3 spot is purely down to his pace. I think you need to have very good pace to be the best centre-back on this game. I think his pace is good enough, but it's not good enough to get him the number 1 spot. So guys, coming in the number 2 spot, I've gone with the 86 rated Raphael Varane, and I finally get to say I am a massive fan of Raphael Varane. I've not actually had him in a squad builder so far on FIFA 19, so this was the first time that I've featured him in a video, and I'm a huge fan of this guy. I think he's such a great central defender to go with, and I was very tempted to put this guy in the number 1 spot because he has got some ridiculous stats. 84 pace for a central defender is unbelievable, and this guy does back it up with his defensive ability and his physicality, and he's got great link ability. He really is the complete central defender. Now, to be honest, I can't find any flaws to this man's game. He really could be the best centre-back on this game. I just think there is one other central defender that just brings something a little bit different. So in the number 1 spot, it has to be Dejan Lovren. I mean, the guy got to a World Cup final and a Champions League final in the same season. It doesn't matter that he lost both finals whatsoever, because this man has even said it himself, he is the best centre-back in the world, and I have no reason whatsoever to question that. So for me, the best centre-back on FIFA 19 is Dejan Lovren. Now, of course, guys, I'm obviously joking. Lovren is nowhere near being the best centre-back in the world. So we're going to get on to who is actually in the number 1 spot. Right, okay, so in the number 1 spot, we got the 91 rated Sergio Ramos. Now, I'm sure most of you guys would have thought that Ramos is the best centre-back considering he is the highest rated, but I'm going to tell you why I think he is the best central defender on this game. Now, his pace is definitely good enough to compete with all the other centre-backs that are featured on this list. His defending is world-class, having 91 defending, and his physicality is very good. This guy is extremely overpowered in the air at winning headers. He's got very good jumping in game. And I think Ramos is definitely a very good ball-playing centre-back. He can definitely handle being pressed. So yeah, I think Ramos is probably the most complete defender on the game. Now, I'm sure there's a few Liverpool fans out there that don't like Sergio Ramos because what he did to Mohamed Salah, but I'm sure most of you guys would agree that Sergio Ramos is the best defender in the world at this moment in time. Really does have no weaknesses to his game, and I think he just brings a certain style and personality that no other defender brings. He is just an out-and-out winner and definitely a man that you're going to want to have in your ultimate team. So guys, that is my top 10 list. Did you agree with me? Did you disagree with me? Let me know in the comments below. But yeah guys, that is just going to be about it from me for today. So I will catch you in the next video.